Yo, what's up everyone? I'm gonna be showing y'all how to add your own balloons to the game now, because it has been requested a lot by people, mainly one person though. But yeah, I'm gonna start off by explaining how the balloons work. So basically all the balloons, each branch is basically a different type of balloon. So we got the normal balloons here, and they have all these commands, as you can see. Like, there's all these variables that sort of these are very important because it sort of like tells the game what type of balloon it is, how it behaves with towers and other stuff like that. So yeah, it's very important to keep this in mind. This is the normal balloon. All of these got all the sprites for the normal balloon here as well. But yeah, it is not glued, so glue is 0. It's not frozen, so freeze is 0. Shield is 0. Big balloon, which is whether or not it's ceramic, brick, Moab, or any of the other blimp type balloons, is set to 0. Different blimps have different values. Like the party blimp has a big balloon value of 16. The DDT has a big balloon value of 5.5. Stuff like that. Also, all of the blimps have the same parent, but I'll get into that later. Yeah, the normal balloon, this is the part that's different. Normal is set to 1, whereas everything else is set to 0. Like, it's not camo, it's not lead, it's not regrow. These are just the default values. These get changed by the wave sender, which I will also be doing a tutorial on later. But yeah, we got this alarm 0 event, does nothing. This is the glue corrosion event. Like, when the balloon gets corroded, this will affect it, causing it to turn into other balloons. It's important to keep in mind for that. Radiation from the plasma also has a similar event. This tells the balloon to stop being frozen when its frozen time is expired. This tells the balloon to stop being stunned. This tells the balloon to stop being distracted. This is the step event. Basically determines the sprites and the speed depending on what the balloon layer is. Also determines how glue and other stuff affects it. If balloon layer is less than 1, then the balloon is popped, which makes sense. After a red balloon, it doesn't exist anymore, so yeah. And then here we have the projectile. It has the same event if it is hit by a projectile and it has a balloon layer less of 1, then it will be destroyed. But if it doesn't, then it'll do all this other complicated stuff. These variables here, basically what this does is when the projectile hits the balloon, 1 will be subtracted from its current popping power. This lets projectiles not just go on forever. Also, there has a database command here. This allows the same projectile to not pop the same balloon more than once. This is very important. Also creates a pop when it is hit by a projectile. And this is freezing stuff. I'm not going to explain that too much. Basically just shoots ice shards. If it's frozen with ice shard, freeze. And here we go. So if it's a splitting balloon, it has a separate command. It'll lose like half of a layer, because an orange balloon is 1.5 layers and a red balloon is 1 layer. So an orange balloon will split into 3 red balloons. That's sort of how this works. It's a little complicated. After that, it gets pretty normal. It just sort of, yeah, if it's a white balloon, it'll split into 2 pink balloons. If it's a black balloon, it'll split into 2 pink balloons as well. Zebra turns into 2 balloons of 1 less layer, or however many layers the projectile does. You don't have to touch this code very much at all unless you're doing something complicated. Like if you're trying to, like if this was a camo balloon, what I would do is I would go here, like I'd press Control F, bringing this menu up. Then I'd find all the words that are normal and I'd replace it with camo. Because if a camo balloon is popped, you don't want it to turn into normal balloons. You want it to turn into other camo balloons. So do that, and then whoosh, it would turn into camo balloons when popped instead of normal. But we don't want to do that because that will destroy the fabric of the game. Also, it has a similar for spike projectiles, which are different, and the glue, being hit by glue has a different effect as well. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that very much. But anyways, let me explain Bloon types now. So all the Bloons have 4 parent objects. The main one, which is Bloon, all the Bloons of all types have this exact same parent object. Like as you can see here, for the normal Bloon branch, the parent is normal because it's a normal Bloon. Same with ceramics and bricks. Actually, the parent is normal. And if you go to any blimp, like any Moab class Bloon, you'll see that it has the parent Moab class Bloons. But the Moab class Bloon object still goes back to normal because Moabs are basically normal. They don't have any weird properties. The only Bloons that technically have a different property are camo, lead, and shield. But shield and lead are basically targeted by all the towers, so it doesn't matter as much. The only one that really matters is camo, because camo Bloons have the camo parent, and the camo parent can only be targeted by towers that can target camo. Basically, a tower will ignore a Bloon that has the camo parent. So if you're trying to make a Bloon that has like the camo property, you want it to have this parent. That's basically all you need to know there. So if you're trying to make like a weird Bloon that's also camo, like look, the ninja Bloon, it's camo, so its parent is camo. There we go. This Bloon, it's a shield. So yeah, as you can see, it's not actually has the shield parent because it doesn't matter as much. Like the only 2 ones that really matter are normal and camo. Also camo lead, I guess, but camo lead is basically it's special. Yeah, it works the same way as camo. But anyways, I'm gonna make a new Bloon now. So if you're trying to make a new Bloon, basically I mean, I can't really help you with specifics. Like if you're trying to make a really complicated Bloon, then you're basically gonna have to figure that out yourself. If you're trying to make a Bloon that's simple, like if you're just trying to respread a Bloon, that's pretty easy. Just like draw over it and copy one of these. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to make a regen shielded Bloon. So I'm going to go over here to the super shielded Bloon branch, which is basically just all of the super shield Bloons are in this category. And I'm going to rename this to regen shield branch. And as you can see, shielded is already set to 1. That's good. Everything else is 0. That's good as well. The destroy command, leave that. Actually, no, do not leave this. We'll change that later. But the thing that's very important mainly is the step here. This should stay the same. This is basically telling the Bloon how much shield it should have. And this is basically telling it what sprites to draw. Well, no, this tells it what to turn into when it's popped. I'll change that actually a little bit. Instead of turning into normal Bloons, it'll turn into regen Bloons. Regrow, there we go, that's what it's called. And that's already different from how normal shields work. We'll leave that the same for now. Where it says super shield template, that's the old sprites for the super shielded Bloons. I have made new sprites for the regrow shielded Bloons as seen here. I already made some sprites, very nice sprites. I only made 5 though, doesn't matter. So I'll just do Control F, super shield template, and we're just gonna rename it to something else. Regen shield template. Do that, and it'll look like that now. And for projectiles, this basically stays the same. Only we're gonna change all the normal Bloons to regrow Bloons. Because when this Bloon is popped, we want it to turn into a regrow Bloon. Do that, and there we go. And now the only thing we have to do is basically set this. So we'll do an alarm event. Basically, let me grab out this code. We're gonna set the alarm to loop every 30 frames, and basically it's just gonna set the shield to be 1 bigger than it was before. So it's basically regrowing the shield. That's all you gotta do. I mean, that's all I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so that's basically how you make a Bloon. It's not that hard. The really hard part is actually getting the Bloon to actually show up in game. I'm gonna do that tutorial next. So yeah, I guess watch that one. If you're trying to make a really complicated balloon, I mean, good luck. You know, it's a little harder than that. I'm not gonna teach you how to do everything, because you should figure it out yourself. You know, like if you need my help from this point forward, you're probably screwed anyways. But yeah, that's about it. Gonna do the next tutorial now. See you there.